हरि ओम। ओम ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan tells Arjuna that I pervade this whole world, everything exists in me, but I am not in the effect changing phenomena, and in my Supreme Swarupa there is no world other than me, nothing else is there. So this is Bhagwan's supreme nature, that is that Brahma, and that Brahma is not different from our own self. So I am Atma Brahma, this our Atma itself is Brahma. That is what we have to realize. So we have to do the various sadhanas like Karma Yoga, Upasana, Bhakti, Jnana Prapti, Karma Sannyas, Dhyana. So through various these sadhanas we are able to realize ourselves as Brahma. So Bhagavan tells Arjuna that people, different devotees, worship him in different ways. Ekatvena, Pratatvena, Bahudha, Vishvato Mukham. They worship Ishvara as that one supreme Brahma, or as expressing through various devatas, or expressing as this entire creation, as the whole world, as Vishwarup. So, in various ways, one can worship Ishvara as that Nirgun Nirakar, as Sagun, Sakar, as this Vishwarupa, because Ishvara alone is there everywhere. Bhagavan says, I am the father, the mother, and the grandfather of this whole world. I am the one who heats up this whole world, gives showers with rains. I am the immortality as well as death. So knowing this Ishvara Swarup, we should worship him. But those who don't know Ishvara Swarupa, those who are totally bound by desires, but are dharmic, those who have faith in the Vedas, those who follow the path shown by the Vedas, but do different types of karma, yajna, and acquire a lot of punya, then after that they go to Swargalok, and there they enjoy the divine pleasures. But once their punya is exhausted, they again come back to this mortal world. So they acquire a state of Gatagatam, means they shunt from this lok to Swargalok. So there is no peace, there is no freedom in that. So there is limitation in the results which we gain in this world. Even if we gain Swargalok, it is also limited. Even if we gain Brahmalok, it is limited. Of course, if we gain Brahmalok as a Krama Mukti, then we can gain moksha from there. But if we just get Brahmalok through our punya, then again we are sent back to this Martyalok. So we should strive to attain Ishvara, because having attained Ishvara, there is no more samsara. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Having attained Ishvara, there is no samsara for that person. And Ishvara Upasana is very simple, very easy. If we have to worship other devatas, there are a lot of rules and regulations which we have to follow. But if we have sincere love for Ishvara, then Ishvara accepts our worship and he takes care of us. So that's what Bhagwan now tells in the next verse, verse number 22. Very famous verse. Let us chant. Ananyāścintayantō māṁ ye janah paryupāsate teshām nityāviyuktānām yogakshemam vahamyaham. Bhagwan says कि अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो ये चिन्तयन्तो माम ये जनाः those bhakta janaah, my devotees, my worshippers, those who have love for me, they express their love by constantly remembering me, constantly thinking about me. Their mind, their whole energy is focused on me. Their life is totally centered around me. That is called Ananyāścintayantah. They do chintan of that Supreme Ishvara, who is our own self. See, we experience ourself as I am. We experience ourselves in the waking, along with our gross physical body, along with the subtle body. We experience ourselves as I am. In our dream, we experience ourselves as I am, along with our antakkarana, manabuddhi, chitta, ahankar. We experience our own self as I am. But when we go to deep sleep, we get separated from our sthula sharir and sukshma sharir. In that state, actually we don't experience anything other than ourself. But ourself also, we experience our own presence, but that time we don't have any equipment to express ourselves. When we wake up and when we think about the dream, about our deep sleep state, we just say, I slept happily. So that deep sleeper, also I call that being as I. So that is my own self, which is recognized as I. So that is what is present in deep sleep as I. But beyond that deep sleep, in that turiya, even that I is not there. My self is there as that turiya atma, as that Brahma, without even the notion of I. That is the subtlest. But in deep sleep, I experience myself present there, and I recognize that as I. So that deep sleeper, that I when I was in deep sleep is what we call Pratyak Atma, is what is called Kshetrajna, is called that Atma, the inner self. That inner self is not different from Ishvara. So, Ananyāścintayantō māṁ means to contemplate on Ishvara as our own inner self. Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary कि अनन्याः अपृथक् भूता परम देवम नारायणम आत्मत्वेन गता सन्तः. That Param Dev, Narayan, that Ishvara, should be recognized as our own Atma, and constantly we should do Chintan of that Ishvara as our own self. Soham, Soham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham. That is called Ananya Chintan. Ananya means no anya, no other thought, no other idea, no other concept, no other theory, no other philosophy. Only one deep, convincing understanding that Ishvara and myself are one. Ananya. I am not this gross physical body, the subtle body, everything gets absorbed in that Ishvara. This gross physical world and the subtle world, everything is in Ishvara. So looking at this whole world as existing in my Swarupa, which is not different from Ishvara, one should always remember Ishvara. That is called Ananya Chintan. We do Chintan. See, when we are in love with someone, we constantly think about that person. The thought of that person comes in our heart. Means even for a few seconds, we don't forget that person. Constantly that person's thought is there. In the same way, constantly Ishvara's thought, Ishvara Chintan should be done. That is called Ananya Chintan. And with Ananya Chintan, one should keep serving that Ishvara while living in this world, interacting with this world, doing whatever karma required in this world. One should constantly keep that attitude that I am serving Ishvara. So ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Paritaha, in all ways, from all sides, one should do upasana, serve that Ishvara and do chintan of that Ishvara. That is called Ananya Chintan, and such a person is called Ananya Bhakta. So, this Ananya Chintan, when we do, what will happen? Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam, Nitya Abhiyukta. We will be constantly tuned, connected to Ishvara. Satata Abhiyuktanam. Constantly we will be tuned to Ishvara. Will always be experiencing His presence in our life. So one who lives in this way, but what about his day-to-day needs? What about his all other things which are required to live in this world? Who will take care of that? Bhagavan says, I will take care. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahami aham. Bhagavan says their yoga and their kshema is taken care of me directly. What is yoga kshema? Yoga means that which is required. Shankaracharya ji writes कि योगः अप्राप्तस्य प्रापणम. That which we don't have, we try to acquire it, which is required. food, clothing, shelter, whatever is required for our livelihood, which if we don't have, we try to acquire them. And kshema means that which we have, we protect them. We protect not only the things outside which are required for us, we protect them, our house, our things which are required day to day. We also try to protect our body. We protect our mind. We protect all the values which we have acquired. We protect the knowledge which we have acquired. We protect the steadiness and the state of meditation which we have acquired. So internally also what we don't have, we try to acquire and protect. And externally also we don't have, what we don't have, we try to acquire and protect. That is the general work which everyone does. Not only human beings, but even animal, birds, plant. They also constantly strive to get what they don't have, which is required. And whatever is there, they try to protect. So that is called yoga and kshema. So if a devotee is totally engaged in Bhagavad Chintan, constantly thinking about Ishvara and serving Ishvara, but a devotee also has to live in this world. A devotee also needs food, clothing, shelter. A devotee also needs his body to be protected, his mind, because with that only we do our sadhana. So, if his mind is totally engaged in Ishvara Chintana, then who will protect him or her? Bhagavan says, I. Yoga Kshemam Vahami Aham. I personally, I protect them. And if somebody is protected by Ishvara, nobody can harm that person. Jako rakhe sahya, mar sake na koi. If Ishvara himself is protecting, who can do any harm to such a devotee? So with total faith and trust in Ishvara, the devotee constantly strives to remember and serve Ishvara. That is the only agenda in his life. And Bhagavan protects that devotee. Here, Shankaracharya ji in his commentary, he raises one question. कि ननु अन्येषाम् अपि भक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहति एव भगवान. This year Bhagavan talked about Ananya Bhakta, but there are other bhaktas of Bhagavan who may not be Ananya. They may not have 100% attention on Ishvara, but those who worship Ishvara, so those bhaktas are also taken care of by Ishvara. Their yoga kshema also is taken care of Bhagavan. Then what is so special about this Ananya Bhakta? That is the question. So Bhagavan, Shankaracharya ji himself has raised this question and himself answers. Ki satyam evam vahati eva. He says it is true. Bhagavan alone takes care of all his devotees. But what? He says, Kim tu ayam visheshaha anne ye bhaktaha ते स्वात्मार्थम स्वयं अपि योगक्षेमम ihante. He says that other devotees who are there, who are not totally single pointedly dedicated, devoted to Ishvara, those devotees, they themselves also take care of their yogakshema. They worship Ishvara, but they simultaneously take care of their own needs. If they need something, they will put forth effort to get it. If they want to protect something, they will put forth effort to protect. So they take care of their own needs. But Ananya Bhakta, Bhagavan says, Ananya Darshinaha tu na atmartham yogakshemam ihante. Bhagavan says, this Ananya Bhakta, they will not take care of their own yogakshema also. They will not, their attention will not be there on their own yogakshema. So much so, nahi te jivite marane va atmano grudhim kurvanti. They are not even attached to their living, means they don't care whether they are alive or they die. Their attention is all the time in Ishvara. They don't bother about anything else. Their attention is only on Ishvara. They just totally surrender to Ishvara. Nahi te jivite marane va atmano krudhim kurvanti. Kevalam eva bhagvat sharanaha. They are totally surrendered to Ishvara. Just like a little child totally surrenders to its mother. Doesn't care about its own food, clothing, shelter. The mother takes care of that child. Whenever the child is hungry, the mother feeds the child. The mother protects the child. See, just as the little ones of the cat, the kittens are there, tiny little. They are totally dependent on the mother. So mother, if wants to move from one place to another, she herself picks up the kittens and carries them from one place to other place. But in case of the little one of a monkey, the little one has to hold on to his mother. The mother jumps from one tree to another tree, from one branch to another branch. The hands of the mother are engaged in holding on to the branches, but the little one has to hold on to the mother. If it slips, if it loses its grip, it will fall down. The mother doesn't hold the child. Similarly, there are devotees who hold on to Bhagwan and also simultaneously take care of their needs. Bhagwan says, okay, I take care of them, but then I leave them alone also at times. But those who are totally dedicated and devoted to Ishvara, those who have this Ananya Bhakti, Bhagwan says, I take care of them. Ataha Bhagwan eva tesham yoga kshemam vahati iti. Bhagwan alone take full care of them. There's a famous story about Sant Tulsidas ji. He used to live in a small kutia, having his own little possessions there. and is to do his sadhana and also his pravachans and all on Ramayana. So once some robbers, they wanted to steal, so they went to his, when he was not there, they went to his kutia so that they can steal something. Robbers are there stealing from everyone. But when they approached the kutia, they saw two handsome youth with a bow and arrow guarding the kutia. So they could not go inside. After a few days again they tried, and again they saw two youth guarding the kutia. So they wondered, this Tulsidas ji has kept these guards, so handsome, so nice, so strong, powerful. Who are they? From where he got these guards? And he must be hiding something very valuable. So they approached Tulsidas ji, did namaskar to him and said, please forgive us, we were trying to steal from your place. But whenever we went there, we saw two guards guarding your kutia. But they are so handsome and so attractive that we just wanted to know who are they. When Tulsidas ji heard this, he suddenly realized that, see, I have few things, worldly things in my kutia, which I keep protecting, and whenever I am away, Ishvara himself is protecting that. He comes and protects. So he felt really bad also and happy also. He just, whatever possessions he had, he just distributed all of them and surrendered totally to Ishvara. So those who totally dedicate themselves to Ishvara, he takes care. But that faith, that trust we should have. That if we can only devote ourselves to Ishvara, everything will be taken care of by him. See, even worldly, even a person working at your own homes, those who are totally dedicated and working for you, their needs you take care. Or when we work in a company, in an organization, so the good bosses, not the bad one, the good one, they take care of those who have totally dedicated and surrendered to that company or to that organization. So if the worldly people are so good taking care of their own, those who surrender to them, what to talk about Ishvara? See, generally we feel that, oh, this Devta will take care of that Devta, but above all this Devta is that Ishvara. He takes care of not only our external needs, but he has got the power to protect and give us what is required within us. See, when we acquire this knowledge with so much effort you listen to these pravachans and contemplate and try to remember. So who protects this knowledge within? Ishvara. In the 15th chapter also Bhagavan tells that I am the one who gives you memory and take away your memory also. If I have acquired all the knowledge, but at the time when it is required, if I don't remember anything, what is the use? See, even a teacher can help us from externally, but then we have to invoke the inner teacher, the inner guru, that is Ishvara. Ishvara alone can guide us from within. He alone can protect our mind, protect our senses, protect our all the values, and finally lead us towards our ultimate goal, lead us towards Himself. And that is 100% true. But for that we need 100% faith and trust. In the 4th chapter also we had seen, Bhagavan says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tatheva bhajami aham. That he who approaches me in whatever way, I also approach him in the same way. If you cry, weep and want to be one with me, I also want to be one with you. If you intensely think about me, I also intensely think about you. Because Ishvara is our own Swarupa. It's not different. Just like in a mirror, if I smile, the mirror also, the reflection also smiles at me. So ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Before we are born, Bhagavan already gives birth to our parents. He prepares the whole world. All our food, clothing, shelter is already planned. Ordinary people, everyone, Bhagavan takes care in different ways. But those who are devoted to Him, He takes particular care of that person. See about Bhakta Prahlad, his father, Hiranyakashipu, so powerful. He was a great, powerful king. Even the Devatas were scared of him. Mighty, powerful king. And he got real annoyed with Prahlad, because Bhakta Prahlad, he had love for that Ishvara, Ananya Bhakti towards Ishvara, which his father did not like. His father wanted him to be devoted to me only, consider me only as Ishvara. But Bhakta Prahlad had that devotion, and he could see the presence of Ishvara everywhere. Everywhere. Even in a pillar, he could see the presence of Ishvara. His father could not see. His father was seeing the pillar, and Bhakta Prahlad was seeing Ishvara there. His father tried to kill him in various ways, but all the time he was protected. He was put in that fire also. And that fire did not burn him. His father was surprised. He said, how come you are so fearless and the fire is also not doing anything? What is the magic? What is this miracle? He says, Rama Nama Japata Kuto Bhayam. One who chants Ram Nam, where is fear for that person? Pashyatat Mama Gatra Sannidho Pavakopi Salilayate Adhuna. That oh Tata, oh my father, you only see the fire is touching my body and becoming cool and calm and cold. That is the greatness of Bhagwan, His name, His glories. So ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Bhagwan says, you just be devoted to me, think about me, contemplate on me, surrender to me, and I will take care of you. You don't have to worry about all these things. Don't worry about any other thing. Just do my chintan and seva, and I will take care. So that is the promise which Bhagwan has given here. Yogakshemam vahami aham. Nanu anyapi devataha tvam eva chet tad bhaktaha cha tvam eva yajante satyam evam. But all these other devatas are also Bhagavad Swarup only. See, all the devatas are Ishvara only. Entire world is Ishvara. All creatures are Ishvara. All devatas are Ishvara. Ishvara is not a jiva, but jiva, all jivas are Ishvara. So if a person is worshipping any other devata, then they are worshipping Ishvara only. So what is wrong in the worship of other devatas? Or what is the difference between worshipping other devatas and worshipping Ishvara? So Bhagwan says in the next shloka, Epyanya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhipurvakam. Bhagwan says, Ye api anya devata bhaktaha, those who are devoted to other devatas. All these 33 different types of devatas, or so many other grama devatas, sthana devatas, so many devatas are there. So if a person or those who are devoted to these devatas, ye api anya devata bhaktaha, they are the devotees of these devatas, and yajante shraddhayanvita, and with full shraddha they worship them. They worship these devatas. They have their own favorite devata. Sometimes people have their own favorite temple and the devata in that place, and they are totally dedicated to that devata. With faith they worship. So what about them? Bhagwan says, they are also worshipping me, tepi mameva kaunteya. But what? Yajanti avidhi purvakam. But they are worshipping me without knowing me, without proper understanding. Avidhi purvakam. Avidhi ajnanam tat purvakam. Ajnana purvakam yajante ityarthaha. So they don't get the phala of worshipping me. See, Bhagwan pervades the entire world. Everything and everyone is Ishvara alone. But we can worship a devata, understanding that devata as that devata alone, or we can worship that devata as Ishvara. If we worship that devata, understanding that devata as an individual, as that at the individual level, then it becomes the worship of that devata. But if we recognize Ishvara in that Devata and worship Ishvara through that Devata, then it becomes Ishvara's Upasana. We can look at a person or an object with two different vision. We can look at that person as a Jiva, or we can look at that person as Ishvara. The Devatas also are Jivas only, having some higher powers. So if we are looking at those Devatas as Jiva and worshipping them, then our worship becomes limited only. But if we understand the presence of Ishvara in them and worship, then it becomes the worship of Ishvara. Just like our own self. We can look at ourselves in two ways. We can look at ourselves as a Jiva, means as Karta, Bhokta, Jnata, the doer, enjoyer, knower. So we can look at ourselves as a Jiva. That looking at ourselves as a Jiva is called Jiva Bhavana. But that I am not different from Ishvara. My Swarup is Ishvara. So I can look at myself as Ishvara, as Shivoham. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So that is what is called looking at myself as Ishvara. But if I just know myself as Dehoham or Jivoham, then that is looking at myself in a limited way. Similarly, when you worship a Devta as a Devta, though indirectly it is a worship of Ishvara, but it is avidhi purvakam, with ignorance, with not proper understanding. So it will not give us the result of Ishvara Bhakti. It will not be Ishvara's Bhakti. It will be just a Bhakti of that particular Devata. So, api anya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitas. So, Bhagavan says, those who are devoted to other devatas and worshipping them with faith, they also worship me, but avidhi purvakam, but with ignorance. And therefore, they don't get the ultimate result. They fall down from attaining that supreme goal. That's what Bhagavan says in the next verse. He says, Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvena tascha vantite. So how come worshipping other devatas also is worship of Ishvara? Bhagavan says, I am present now. I am present everywhere in them also. In fact, aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta. I am the one who is the enjoyer of all yajnas. Whatever offering is given, it ultimately comes to me. We had seen in the 8th chapter also, Bhagavan had said that I am the Adhiyajna, as that Vaishvanara. Bhagavan alone is present in everyone, in all the devatas. And what is offered, it goes to Vaishvanara only. So, aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta. I am the bhokta, enjoyer in all the yajnas, in all the offerings, in all the karmas, in all the pujas and all the rituals. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha, and I am the master of all the yajnas. I am the ultimate Lord. I am the supreme. So whatever you offer, it comes to me. But in your mind, I am not there. You offer with the notion that you are offering to the Devata without understanding and knowing me. So natum am abhijananti, not knowing me completely, properly. So what happens to them? Bhagavan says, tattvena. They don't understand me in my own tattva, in my essence, swarupa. So ataha, therefore, chavanti they fall down. These devotees fall down means they don't attain the supreme goal. They acquire the limited results. They acquire the results meant for, given by this through these devatas, the limited result. Not recognizing me, they are really losing everything. Though the effort is same, the worship they are doing, the effort which they are putting forth is same. But because of lack of understanding, they are getting limited results. They fall down from attaining the supreme. Chavantite. So Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes कि अहम ही सर्व यज्ञानां श्रौतानां स्मार्तानां च सर्वेषां यज्ञानां देवता आत्मत्वेन भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च मत्स्वामिको हि यज्ञः अधियज्ञो अहमैवात्र इति च उक्तम. Bhagavan says, I alone am, Ishvara alone is the Bhokta and the Prabhu of all yajna, as he had said before also as Adi Yajna. But those who don't understand this, so their upasana, their worship becomes avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam means devoid of proper knowledge. So avidhi purvakam ishtva yaga phalat prachavante. Therefore they fall down from attaining that supreme goal. Means they don't attain the result of Ishvara Bhakti. ईश्वर की भक्ति नहीं होती है उनके पास. See, when Sri Ram went to Mithila and there was this Dhanush Yajna was happening, lot of kings and princes and had assembled there and they were trying to lift the Dhanush, Shiv Dhanush. It became very difficult for them to lift. Then they saw Sri Ram. Vishwamitra ji told Sri Ram that you go and lift that Dhanush. So when all these prince and king and all who had come, they saw, everyone saw Sri Ram differently. Though Ram is one, but everyone saw him differently. Someone saw him just as a prince like them. Others, they looked at him as some special king, prince, some special person having special powers and values. Some saw him as their own Ishta Devata. Some looked at him as some Devata must have come in that form. And some saw him as Sakshat, that ब्रह्म. सो जिनकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत तिन देखी तैसी. Whatever be was their bhavana, they saw Sri Ram in that way. So Ram being same, if we look at him as an ordinary person, then we get the result of looking at him as an ordinary person. But if we look at him as Ishvara, we get the blessings of Ishvara. Same thing happens with Bhagwan's name also. If you chant Bhagwan's name thinking that, oh, it's the ordinary name, then we don't get the highest result. But when we have the deep faith, and with that faith when we chant Bhagwan's name, knowing that this is Bhagwan's name, Ishvara's name, then we get the highest result. So जैसी हमारी भावना है वैसा हमें फल प्राप्त होता है. जैसा ज्ञान है और जैसी भावना है वैसा फल हमें प्राप्त होता है. So that's what Bhagwan says कि अहम ही सर्व यज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तो माम अभिजानन्ति तत्वेन अतश्चवन्ति ते. Therefore, we should constantly contemplate, understand Bhagwan's Swarupa, and keeping that Swarupa in our mind, we should do all our work, we should do all our upasana, we should do all our chintan, we should do dhyana. Whatever we do, then it becomes fruitful. But if we don't understand Bhagwan's Swarupa, then whatever we do we don't gain the highest result. Okay? So you think about this, and we will study more tomorrow in our class. Till then, you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana, do your chintan. Understand Bhagwan's Swarupa and keep it in your mind. Keep that Swarupa in your mind and do whatever your work, it will become fruitful. So till then, take care. We'll see you again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.